queens and cryptids, and welcome to Queer and Loathing, the only podcast that doesn't talk about you behind your back. I'm your host, Brett Bodie, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts.
I'm Mel.
I'm Samantha.
And today, we're going to be talking about A Quiet Place, Day 1, not Part 1, like I always want to say.
Or, like I say, Day 2. I don't know why I say it.
Well, to be fair, there is a day 2 in the movie.
If anything, I think more of it is Day 2 than Day 1.
Thank you.
But yeah, new release. This came out only this year, if you can believe it.
Yeah.
Directed by Michael Sarnowski, who, this is his second movie. His first one was Pig with Nicolas Cage.
Okay. I like that movie.
Yeah, I have not seen it, but I hear very good things. With a screenplay by him and a story by him and John Krasinski.
Ugh.
John Krasinski, who, of course, directed, but did not write the first one, and then wrote and directed Quiet Place Part 2.
And starred in.
And I think you can kind of tell with the screenplay, like I thought Quiet Place the first one had the best screenplay. And that was the one that was not fully written by John Krasinski. And then 2 was not as good, in my opinion.
It might be my weird opinion, but I kind of, the order of how much I liked the movies, not how good they are, but how much I liked them, is actually 3, 2, 1. But This isn't my series.
Sure. Do you want to get into what we thought about the first 2 movies?
I think we should.
Yeah.
Because this is literally and this is why it's so understandable that you kept fucking up the name, is because it's this naming convention is so stupid, right? Just where we are, we live in a society, y'all, where it's always just well, everything is the same old IP, but it's blah, 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 colon, something else, or just...
At least they didn't call it A Quiet Place Origins.
I mean, at least that would have been funnier.
Yeah, A Quiet Place Part 2, and now A Quiet Place Day 1.
Yeah.
Day 1.
Day 1.
Which technically it does start on, but Quiet Place Part 2 also has parts from Day 1.
That's true.
So it's all stupid. The naming conventions for movies now, it's just... whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine.
They should have just called it Quiet Place 3, but whatever. Just keep naming this shit different things.
Well, you know what? It makes it so you have to talk about the first 2 every time, because you have to figure out what this third one's name is. So
I guess that's true. Much like The First Omen. Go listen to our episode on The First Omen. But it's not the first in the Omen series.
Yeah. Again, another stupid name for a movie. And again, I liked both The First Omen and Quiet Place : Day 1.
It's hard to remember.
As much as I cannot remember the names of these movies, and they will not stick in my head like that. Because I will just think of this as Quiet Place 3 in my head, probably. And this is the one that, as I said, I really like this one the most. But let's talk about, because I think Quiet Place, the first one, part 1, Day 400 or whatever, was a huge phenomenon when it came out.
Did you see it in theaters?
Oh, I was gonna level this at
so
you.
Sorry. Okay.
Preemptive strike.
Ooh, beat you to it. Haha.
Sure. I saw, I think, all of these in theaters. Yeah, I saw them all in theaters.
I think I did too.
Okay, so I will say for the Quiet Place, the first one. I'm just gonna call it the first one.
Fine.
Okay. For the first one, seeing that in theaters is really effective because almost all of the dialogue in the movie is done through signing. That it really amps up, right? That feeling of, I don't know, you feel in it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, when you go to a theater, there's people rustling and eating their food and farting and slurping and all that. But
Sorry.
Specifically looking at Brett. So that does kind of ruin it a little bit, but I feel like everyone was being pretty quiet when I saw all 3 of these.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky.
You know?
Brett and I did not have that experience with the third one.
Okay. Well, we'll get to you.
Okay.
All in good time.
I just remember thinking it was like kind of a stupid premise, and I don't really like John Krasinski. I think he's like a cringe person. But I thought, like, when you can get beyond the fact that the movie doesn't make sense at all, it's fine. Like, I would never say that the first one's a bad movie. It's just kind of goofy because it's like your whole premise doesn't really make any sense. And then the second one, I don't really remember anything about it. I just remember enjoying it. And then it just ended really abruptly, and I was like, oh, it's over.
Yeah.
And then this one I really enjoyed and would watch again and was very much my shit. But we'll get into that. Sam?
Well, I'll start with where you ended. Is number 3 was very much my shit. I really, really loved this movie. And then I would say next is the first one because I can remember it. And number 2, I cannot remember it. I know I've seen the first 2 at home because I could not see these in theaters, the first 2. And now I'm like in a better spot. I think I did pretty okay. I did have to, I'm so sorry, Brett. I was like, I hope I'm not bothering him, but I did have to like cover my ears a little bit because when I know something's suspenseful and I'm like, I want to see it happen, but I need some control, so I need less sound.
So
even though it's quiet.
This was the scariest movie for you that we've covered on the podcast?
Yes.
Yeah, it was definitely the most reactive I saw you in the theater for any of the ones we saw.
Yes, but in a way I really liked because I didn't dislike the feeling. I want to know what's going to happen, but I'm also like, I am very nervous. So I'm like just putting my little fingers on my ears. Yeah, but I would say 3, 1, 2 because I do not remember 2.
2 is the one where...
On an island?
They did go to an island at the end.
Did they really?
Yeah, well, because Djimon Hounsou from
Yeah.
day 1 was also in part 2. He was like man on island.
Who?
Djimon Hounsou,
You'd recognize him if you saw him.
Is that...
the black guy who's in every movie.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'd seen him in a movie in a long time.
Not the white guy on this picture, but the black one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I literally, like, all I remember about 2 is that there was the stupid vault thing, but I really liked the whole baseball. I think, okay, here's
And
my...
Cillian Murphy was in too.
Oh, my
was
God,
the most
I do
memorable.
not remember
Oh.
that. Okay, I'm going to strike it. I literally don't remember 2.
All right.
All I remember about 2 is the thing... Oh, Cillian Murphy was in the flashbacks.
He
I
was.
think so.
And
Okay, so
also in
I-
present day in 2.
I'm starting to remember it
I don't
now.
believe
Thank you.
Okay.
I probably should have rewatched these to prepare for this, but
Nah.
whatever. I think I've mentioned it on the podcast before, but like there's just something about my brain that lights up when it's people running through the streets screaming and there's monsters attacking them. And 1 did not have that, and 2 and 3 had that. So maybe that's why I
see.
remember enjoying 2 so much was the whole flashback sequence I really enjoyed. But okay, back to you, Sam.
Oh, yeah?
That was it?
I think that was it.
Okay. Well, I saw the first one in theaters, and I did enjoy it because I was just kind of like, oh, the premise doesn't make any sense, and that's fine, and I'm going with it and whatever. I was really touched by the relationship between the father and the deaf daughter. Yeah. I thought that actress who played the daughter was so good.
Yeah.
When John Krasinski like sacrifices himself in front of her and like they share that moment of love, I thought that was very beautiful. So I didn't leave being like, that was my favorite movie, but I really enjoyed the first one. John Krasinski's not my favorite either, but I thought he was good, fine in the first one. And I really liked the actress who played the daughter. Can't remember her name. Millicent Simmons. So I really liked the first one. Second one had very high highs and lower lows.
Okay.
Wasn't overall as consistently strong as the first, but I still enjoyed it. And I actually didn't really care for 3,
Okay.
to break from you guys.
Ooh, okay.
Wasn't really my thing.
Ooh.
I was kind of bored by the end.
That'll still be exciting then.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed 3, but good. So what was your theater experience?
First of all, I fucked it with the popcorn. Like, I messed it up. Just after...
This is Sam's confession time.
What happened?
I'm so thrown off from... Because we were on a roll with seeing movies at Alamo. Again, I'm going to bitch about this. And then, Alamo went away for a minute and it's back. We're good. So I had to see movies in Cinemark and they were undersalting their popcorn. So Brett and I went to an AMC and I was like, okay, you got the popcorn, great. I'm going to go put butter on it. I'm going to put salt on it. I didn't try it first, and I just tried to give us heart attacks. It was so bad.
Oh, you fucked up the pot.
I really did. So this is my apology to you, Brett. I am so sorry. And I did replace it.
Thank you.
So
you did more than replace it because you also got us. You got us some. What was it? A Nashville hot.
Nashville
popcorn,
hot popcorn,
which could have been really bad, but it was actually really good. So she redeemed herself.
Yes.
But your first one would literally kill any of the people in the hospice.
Right. I
at the
tried.
beginning of this
Yes.
movie.
I tried. I was like, because Brett went to the bathroom. I was like, is it that bad? And like kept shaking. I was like, I can fix this. I can fix this. No. And I was like, I'm calling it. I let Brett try first in case. I was like, do I have so much salt on my hands that I'm now salting every piece I pick up? No, it was just bad.
Am I the salt?
Am I the salt? So, maybe cut the popcorn part. Sorry. Thank you.
You have to live with the consequences of your actions.
Yeah, you do.
I'm sorry, Sam. The people need to know.
But
It's called accountability.
And I'm here to apologize for it. I'm so sorry.
I accept your apology.
Are you
Thank
her
you.
accountability buddy?
Yes.
But so yet again, I have to complain about what was it? It was a child.
Yeah, there were some
something.
children, and there was some
People brought their children to see
Well,
Quiet Place Day 1.
Yes, they did, and just like lots of fidgeting in seats and lots of like.
there were
It was-
straight up legs running in the seat.
Yeah, it became like a what is that 4DX experience where the seats like shake and
Oh,
like spray you
my
because the
God.
kids were like rocking so much that I was like, is someone behind me like kicking my seat? No, it was the kids on a row just like vibrating.
If you are bringing your hyper, like 10-year-olds or whatever to see, because that's kind of the situation that I was in my theater, to see a movie that's like, yes, it has some action-packed moments, but like it's mostly like kind of slow.
Mm-hmm.
Your kid's going to be bored and they're
Yeah.
going to become a terror upon the entire theater. And I know that you, as their parent, love them and block them out, but like I didn't pay to get like your kids' commentary or have them shake my seat
Yes.
or like stage whisper or look at their phone. That's not what I wanted from my theater experience. So if you have kids, fuck you. The end. Should we talk about this movie?
Oh,
We
yes,
may as
yeah.
well.
So for those of you, we are going to spoil this. For those of you who haven't seen it, 2 out of 3 dentists recommend it. It is kind of different as a premise, which I enjoyed.
I really, really liked the premise and setup for sure.
Yeah, and I would say equally to the other Quiet Place movies, the logic of the movies just don't really make sense. I mean, I remember seeing the first Quiet Place movies and being like, man, people be like sneezing and farting in real
Right.
life. And like, it doesn't really make sense. Like it drives me crazy with the first movie where I'm just going back to complaining about the first movie,
Do
but
it.
where he takes his son to like the river
The waterfall.
so he can talk to him. And it's like, why wouldn't you just move your family over here, buddy? Why aren't you always over here? Why is your wife not giving birth here? Like, what are you doing?
Hello, it's called a water birth.
And it's beautiful and magical.
Yeah.
I mean, better than alone in a tub screaming. I don't know.
That
It's
could
just,
also be a water birth. There was a tub.
It was a tub, and there was flooding water.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Still very crunchy granola.
yes, they were.
They were homesteading.
All right, you
God.
finally beat me to the joke. You did it. But yeah, so for this one,
Yeah, very inconsistent rules. And like,
it's very inconsistent.
and like the level of sound that calls the creatures is whatever it needs to be in any
Well,
scene, and that's fine.
Hugely inconsistent.
I was thinking about like, what about scurrying rats? Like they're in New York. I'm like,
Yeah.
were they, or do they just tune out? Yeah. I
I'm
get it.
assuming they
Inconsistent.
chase the rats. They chase
Probably.
whatever, because it shows in
Just like a
the
little
first
popcorn
one.
to them.
Yeah, it's a little.
Oh, yeah, a little snack.
Just a little snack.
I assume they just like attack anything that makes noise. But as you said, Brett, it's like so inconsistent. And I think you just have to be like okay with that.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't make a lot of sense, even though it's the entire premise. It's the entire premise, y'all, and it does not make sense. And this one even adds another ridiculous layer to it, which is the cat.
Oh, yes.
And I guess we'll probably get into the cat a little
The
bit
true
more.
star of Quiet Place 3.
There is a cat that is not acting super cat-like in this movie. That adds another sort of like layer of, I think, good anxiety to the film.
So this one centers around a character named Sam, or Samira, played by Lupita Nyong'o.
Whomst we stand.
And I gotta say, big get for this movie. And I don't think I would have liked it as much as I did if they hadn't landed like such a talented cast. And what I thought was so great about the premise for this movie, because I really loved the opening. She is terminally ill. She has some form of cancer. She's living in hospice.
And could die like any day.
Yes, any day. So she's just basically like taken, just like living on her pain patches.
Fenty.
Yep. So she has fentanyl patches.
I did. My eyebrows raised. It's like, ooh, did someone smuggle that across the border?
Oh my God.
Yeah, so she's in hospice, and she has a bad attitude. She doesn't really want to participate in group. When she does, she reads a poem she wrote where she just dunks on all of the other dying people in the group for like shitting themselves, and it's very funny.
Yeah.
And everyone still like has to clap for her.
Yeah.
And then the another main character early on is Ruben, who is the
Nurse? He's the nurse.
yeah. And he like leads the field trip because that's how they get into the city.
I didn't clock him at first.
Well, so I thought that the actor playing Ruben was Nat Wolff, who was in the Stand miniseries, and like I've seen him in a couple things, and I don't think he's that good an actor. And
Was he Nick in the Stand miniseries? Who was he in the Stand miniseries?
He was the guy who was like the henchman for Randall Flagg.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I think he took some acting lessons. And then I learned later that no, it's his younger brother, Alex Wolff,
I didn't
from
realize
Hereditary.
they were related.
Yeah, they're brothers. And
Oh.
Alex Wolff, who I've always thought is a fantastic actor, like amazing in Hereditary.
Oh, that's so sad that you thought that
I thought it
Nat
was
Wolff got better, but it was just
but it was just his brother. But that is truly what I thought. But yeah, so it was Alex Wolff playing Ruben, given a great performance. He's very good in this. His relationship with Lupita Nyong'o's character, I thought, was very believable and touching, and like clearly she hates everyone and everything, but she clearly likes and has some respect for him, and he kind of knows how to deal with her.
Yeah.
So he talks her into going into, because they're in Jersey, I guess, but he's like, we're going into the city to see a show. She's like, okay, can we get pizza afterwards? Okay, fine, then I'll come. And you think it's going to be like a Broadway musical.
It's not.
And it's like marionette.
Creepy marionette show.
In some like shitty tiny theater. Which is very funny. And she's mad.
Well, I also just
At first.
love the buildup of her character because like she's just been like worn down and bitter, and
Yes.
she's clearly in an extreme amount of pain at all times, and that can make you mean. Like if any of us have had a loved one who is like dying, like it's sad, it's real. It can make you be a person that you don't want to be, or that the people around you don't want to be around, and it sucks. And I would never say she's like a bad person to her core in this movie. She's just like, she has her one mission, and then that gets, messed up. And I just really liked this character because you don't often see this kind of character in these kinds of movies, which I appreciated. Because,
I agree.
Yeah, like they get to the puppet theater, and then she's like, fuck this. She gets like startled and is done.
Yeah, it's actually weirdly like a nice, like a well done show, because this old man like shuffles out. You think it's going to be so shitty. And then it's actually kind of cool because it's like a little puppet, and then it blows up a balloon.
Which is amazing.
Which is cool. And then it like starts to float away. And then the balloon pops and the puppet crashes back down to earth. And I think that's sort of very representative of like Sam's journey, and like she's like, oh, I was on the up and up and I had these hopes and dreams, and then my like balloon fucking burst, and now I've crashed to rock bottom.
And
It
also,
really affects her.
Yeah.
it really affects her. And also, we find out later in the movie that her dad seemed to have a similar trajectory, where he was doing well and living life, and
He was a jazz pianist, I think, and
then he got sick and died. So yeah,
that
so-
clearly affected her a lot. Like,
Oh,
the main thing is her
huge.
relationship with her dad.
Oh, I cried. But we'll get to that. So she goes back into the bus and is like, I'm out of here. And then shit starts hitting the fan, which I was like ready for. Because that's what I was most excited about with this movie was the idea of watching these sound aliens, which I enjoyed watching them fuck up a small town in The Quiet Place 2. This one I was like, oh, they're going to be in this... Aliens in the city, wacky adventure, and boy, do we get that.
I was going to point out that in the theater, that's also when we see what's-his-face, whose name
You're able
what's
to
his face?
pronounce it.
Djimon.
Oh, Djimon Hounsou.
Djimon. I've never said it out loud.
That's why I didn't
so.
recognize it, because I know who he is, but in my head, I just think of like
I can
Djimon.
read the
Djimon,
name.
yeah.
Because I'm such a stupid white
I think
piece
that's
of
part
shit.
of what throws me off too. But yeah, but that's when we see him first in the movie, right? In the theater with his wife and son, and
Yes.
they interact with Frodo the cat.
Right, there's
'Cause
also
it's
a
Sam
cat.
and Frodo,
Yeah, Sam and Frodo.
which I love.
I never remembered her name in the movie, so I did not realize
And
that.
Sam carries Frodo around the whole
Oh,
movie,
that's
which
true.
is cute.
That is very cute.
It's so cute.
Yeah, she has a like therapy cat.
Yeah.
I think is the idea. It's
Yeah,
never.
because she takes it into a bodega because she's trying to buy like a snack, and the guy behind the counter is like, "No cats," but he is a bodega cat, and she's like, "Oh no, no cats."
No cats. But yeah, I think the beginning was a really nice slow start setting the tone of like where we're at emotionally with Sam. And then we're kind of, slowly moving forward. You have that anticipation because you're like, we know it's about to go down. This is day one, not day two. This is day one. So it's about to happen.
And it's not -1.
It's not. Oh. Yeah. And so then I'm not fully covering my eyes, but I am covering my ears at this point.
When she gets in the bus,
Gets in the bus, yes.
you knew it was coming.
Yeah.
At that point. Well, people
'cause
are
they're like-
also kind of looking around, right? At that
Yeah.
point.
Things are off.
Well, because there's been some like Ruben, the hospice director, like gets a call and they're like, "Oh, we have to go back right now. We have to all get back on the bus. We're not finishing the show. We're not getting pizza."
Which pisses her
Problem.
off.
Oh, and she's so mad about the pizza. But yeah, just like, sorry, rain check. And she's like, well, I might be dead literally tonight.
There is no rain check.
There is no tomorrow for me to get pizza. But as they're, trying to head back in the bus, the Lalians attack.
So, okay. So going back again to the first movie. The first movie takes place like over a year later, I think, or close
Yes.
to that, right? And we are in it from the perspective of this podunk town family, and they all know shit, right? Like they kind of have they know sound. Everyone figures out sound pretty quickly. There's kind of a cringy scene where he's in his basement and you can see like the notes.
What is weakness?
What is weakness? Sound? Question mark. Aliens from
Yeah,
sky.
It's on the blackboard
and
behind
it's
him.
just for us,
Yeah.
the audience. But this movie, we get a little bit more, not entirely, but we get a little bit more lore about what these aliens, like where they come from, what's going on. I think the biggest shock for me in this scene where the alien, I guess they're like meteors, start
Yeah.
coming down, is there are just so many.
Right.
There are so many, and you're looking at that, and presumably, if you watch this movie, you've probably seen the other two. Not the 10-year-olds that were watching these movies in our various viewings of
No, they
it.
were there. They were like 3 for the first one. They were 7 in the second. They've seen them all.
They grew up with it. Like we grew up with Harry Potter.
Yes.
They're just super big, quiet place heads. But there are just so many, and you're like, oh, this is why society is just so fucked. Right? Is that there's just so many of them, and these people in New York City are even more fucked. Because when the movie starts, it's like, New York City makes a bajillion decibels at any moment. They had the,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes the average of the sound of a sustained scream.
yeah.
That's what the opening text says.
Which is, if you've seen the other movies, you're like, yep, that's bad for these people.
Yep. And I will say it does make a little more sense as to how humanity wasn't able to defeat them when you see how many of these aliens there are. It does make more sense, because at first I was like, I don't know if I really buy that, like humankind couldn't take care of this threat. Like, a bunch of people would die, but seeing how many there were, it makes more sense.
And presumably
they just got overwhelmed.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
That if there's that many hitting everywhere, because I mean, again, we don't know. We don't know if they sent more to New York City and less to small town Midwest, wherever the first ones take place. So yeah, then we're basically in it, and this is what I really liked about the movie. I'll just say it up front. What I really loved about this movie is that it is not, our brave heroine's journey to escape New York City and save, her friends and family, which is what you would sort of expect from this kind of plot. It's like one dying woman just wants to get a slice of pizza. She wants a specific slice of pizza, but she just wants this one place in Harlem's pizza before she dies. So for her, she's not even super I'm fighting to survive, because she can't.
Right.
We know from the beginning she's doomed.
Yeah.
She has to die. And then it's the way that there's more sort of integrated drama and humanity added to it is that she has this cat that she does not want to see die. And then she sort of encounters people along the way. So that's
she meets those kids and then sends them off with the crowd that
die.
all get massacred.
Yeah, but I mean, and she kind
Fuck them kids.
Well, I don't think she did it to do that.
No, she did the right thing by any conceivable metric. She was trying to send them with the crowd to the evacuation point so they could get on a boat, because that's what it was. It was like, everyone go to the south, whatever.
Only after that she's walking against the crowd that she's like, this crowd is so fucking
Well, it's because she's seen
loud.
people be so dumb.
Yeah.
People with
that person dragging their suitcase, and I was like, oh. And I'm like, that person is stupid, and if you're walking near them, you're also stupid. I would be nowhere near that crowd. Or at least hugging the building, just staying as far away from those people as possible, because it's so loud. That's the worst thing you could do.
But I'm also maybe overthinking this, but we've lived through plague, and I do think, and we just as a
some more recently than others.
Yes. But I do think that there's this sort of false feeling of safety that we get when we're doing what everyone else is doing, right?
That's true.
Because there's still plague happening, and I'm still getting my boosters when I can, but I'm not really wearing a mask anymore. And I know I probably should, but I'm like, well, most people aren't. And, I think, and even though I'm stupid for doing that and putting myself at risk and others at risk, it's we tend to do what everyone else is doing around us.
Yeah.
So I kind of get that, where she's even this seems like a bad idea when she sees just because first there's just a few people that start coming out, and then it's so many people have survived the sort of first attack, and they all just walk together almost like zombies, because they're covered in dust and destruction, and they're just all moving in this sort of sea, and they're even just the amount of people walking in that one space is going to cause noise. But I get it. Yes, it's stupid, but also people are stupid, and we want to believe that there's safety in numbers. So I kind of like that scene, and I also liked that she did shunt those kids off into the death march, because I was like, oh God, is this going to be the first two movies where the whole movie is her trying to protect these kids?
Yeah.
Right? But
it was nice that there was a scene of her taking care of the kids.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, you guys go because you need to evacuate, but I'm not evacuating. So that's why she's going
She has her
swimming
mission.
upstream, because she's on a very different mission. She's not trying to get evacuated and go to some island. She's trying to get her pizza and die in relative peace.
Yeah, they were stuck and they're on their own separate journey. So she did what she could to help them further along, and now she's back to hers.
Yeah, I think she did the right thing, and it was the right thing for the movie not to belabor that anymore.
Yep. But I do like that they had it.
To show that she's just not totally
cold-hearted.
Yes. It did help, because she comes across as really kind of hard and mean and very cynical, for good reason. And that was a nice early scene that really showed, besides her cat, she does have other
Right.
soft spots and empathy. And
Before we go to an ad break, I do want to say, because we skipped a good chunk of the movie, there's right after it happens, they end up in the like marionette theater.
yeah, because she gets knocked out.
Yes.
And then Djimon Hounsou rescues her. She's covered in dust. She wakes up and he covers her mouth so she won't cough or make noise.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And her covered in dust is very reminiscent of
9/11.
9/11 imagery.
Yeah.
And we'll probably get into that more later.
We can, certainly. I was definitely thinking all these people now, if they do survive, they'll have like asbestos
Yes.
in their lungs. They're going to have mesothelioma. That's a problem for another day for them because they got
true.
aliens everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, sort of establishes, that there's already some survivors. People have figured it out. By the time she wakes up, people have figured it out, which I liked because we don't necessarily need that moment.
Yeah.
And then it also shows
Djimon Hounsou.
Djimon
that it?
Hounsou
Very good.
has to make a really horrible choice and does accidentally kill a guy by trying to shut him up because the guy starts panicking. So there are these like kind of moments, and we watch Alex Wolff get murked.
Yeah,
Saving.
He's trying to shut off this generator.
It's
I
very
guess, that it just-
Tremors
yeah.
coded.
It is very Tremors coded, actually. Because he's like reaching to try to get the lever or whatever to shut it off.
And he gets it, he's smiling.
He gets
and
it
it's
just
like,
in time, and then he gets got.
and he's in the exact framing
Yeah.
where you, as the person watching it, are like, "Aw."
Yeah.
You're like, wow, good thing an alien isn't going to suddenly swoop in from the side and carry him off screen to the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it did happen.
It did. Okay.
Poor guy.
Ad break?
Yes. All right. Well, this ended up being very appropriate.
Oh.
This episode is sponsored by Decorum. Are you a person who talks really loud during a movie in theaters? Do you and your family stand in the middle of the aisle at the grocery store, no matter who may be trying to get past you? Then you might need Decorum. You could learn to use your headphones when listening to music in public.
No.
You don't have to take that call on speakerphone. You could just hold your phone up to your ear so you aren't bothering everyone around you. You could use your turn signal when
No.
driving.
No.
You could learn with today's sponsor, Decorum. Use offer code SHUTTHEFUCKUP for 100% off shutting the fuck up.
Oh my God. Just a quick thing on that. When my redacted was getting a surgery and I was like in the waiting room with all the other people in the waiting room waiting for their own people to get out of surgery. And there was just this old guy, full volume on his phone, listening to Forensic Files. Just like watching it full volume. It was just
Yeah.
next to him. And it was like describing, horrific
Right.
deaths while everyone in there is like stressed out waiting for their loved ones to wake up. And I just like walked away. I was like, I'm not going to start a fight with a man that looks like he's so ready to yell.
Yeah, he could use today's sponsor.
Well, yeah, Decorum.
Yeah,
Decorum.
It's a good one. Would be nice,
you.
but it's a losing battle.
it is. But anyway, we'll continue to lose that battle after the break.
Yay.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you enjoyed your break shutting the fuck up. And now, back to us not shutting the fuck up and talking too much about A Quiet Place Day 1.
Yeah, and I think the time is actually kind of hard to gauge in this movie because she keeps like passing out and being so sick.
Yeah.
But I think where we left off was there was a huge sort of like crowd of people. They had been told from helicopters overhead to get to the water. One thing I really liked is the monster, the aliens, whatever they are, when they like follow noise, right? So when there are the helicopters going by and they're just like climbing
And
up
leaping
the
between
buildings,
buildings
leaping
to
between
follow them,
buildings,
yeah.
and they're huge and they're like really weird looking, and there are just so many of them. I just thought that was like really effective. Again, where it's like, man, this really would fuck up humanity. These like really giant monsters that can just jump and climb and Yeah, they're scary.
Yeah, and they're just as angry about extraneous noise during the movie as I was.
Oh yeah.
I felt their rage.
Oh, yeah.
They were the relatable ones to me. I don't know about you guys. They're like blind fury at like people making noise. I was like, girl, same. Like
were
you're
rooting
right
for
to
them?
do it, yeah, and you should do it.
And we don't have to go through like the whole plot of this, but basically it's just like she is trying to get to this pizzeria. We later find out that she has a personal connection to it. Her dad was a jazz musician. He's also died, and he played nearby.
Yeah, he would take her to get a slice of pizza at this pizza place in Harlem, and then she would watch him play piano at this like club, like nearby.
They give us as much as we need to
Yeah.
understand her character and her background and her motivations, but I don't think it just like lingers on it too much to where it becomes like annoying or repetitive or cringe. But I think the movie also knew that it would be maybe not as, I don't know, like dynamic if it was just her. So then she gets sort of saddled with like this
Aw.
guy. this,
Frodo
like-
brings Sam Eric.
Yes.
Right, Eric.
Yeah, because so the crowd of people get like massacred by the aliens. Lupita manages to escape down an alleyway, but
gets separated.
But gets separated from Frodo, and then it shows this like flooded subway, and
I was nervous.
Yeah, and bubbling up is Eric,
business suit guy.
business suit guy. Yeah,
Wears his tie the whole time.
Lost-
I also
Lost
noticed
in
that.
it.
He
Oh.
never takes his tie off. It's
Well.
amazing.
Got to be ready to make a good first impression always.
And
Guess so.
and when we see this guy, we don't know that he's gonna like be a part of this movie. He just like erupts out of the water. I
Yes.
thought he was immediately gonna get snatched up. I didn't see the trailers, so like I didn't know.
He wasn't in the trailers that much, I don't think.
Which is good because I think it's like a nice sort of like, because I thought it was going to be her and Alex Wolff the whole movie. And then when he got picked off, it's like, okay, when you get grabbed by those aliens, you don't tend to come back.
No.
No, and it would have been annoying if he had. So.
Yes.
So she meets Eric, played by Joseph Quinn, who I really enjoyed in this movie. He is most known from Stranger Things season 4. He plays Eddie, the like rocker guy.
I thought I had seen him before.
And
He
soon
just had
to
so much
be-
hair then.
Yes, and soon to be in the Fantastic Four movies upcoming. He's one of the Fantastic Four. I don't
Wow.
know anything
He's a
about
fantastic-
I am so excited about Fantastic Four Take 5.
them. Yeah.
I'm not.
All of those movies have been so good.
They're so
I'm
successful.
sure.
Keep trying.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked him in this. He's just like Mr. like, you know, the kind of like pathetic emoji with the big eyes. He's just that the whole
Yes.
time. He's got those big eyes and it's just like, so Sam has a cat in this movie that like, but like he is like a pathetic stray cat that follows her around.
Frodo is far more competent.
Yes, Frodo is way more
But also,
independent and
to your point, Mel, about having a character that, you know, isn't like, oh, the big action person with a mission to save whoever and blah, blah, blah. Like, I felt like Eric was really realistic in that. I think that's kind of how I would be, is I'd be like, what is happening and who and how and why?
He's having a
Yeah.
panic attack
Yeah.
pretty much
the whole time.
a low-level panic attack the whole time, and then full-blown panic attacks when shit gets really dicey for him.
Yeah,
But-
they are warranted, I feel.
Yes.
But I will say he shows up when necessary. When Frodo decides to fuck off and hang out with some aliens.
oh, I would have let. Okay,
I was so annoyed at that. I was like, why would you follow the cat? Cat's gonna be fine. You're not gonna be fine. You just
True.
need to leave.
I
was so mad at him.
could not believe it because, like, okay, I'm coming out.
Wait, is this Mel's Cat Corner?
We're talking
our
about the
world
cat.
famous segment?
Okay.
We have to talk about the cat. Okay,
Mel's Cat Corner.
this is Cat Corner. I am a cat person. I have 2 cats. I love cats. I love looking at cats. I am like, there was this meme, or early internet meme of the eHarmony video lady who's just like, do you guys remember this one where she's like, I just want all the cats and I want them to wear
yes.
little bow ties. And she just starts like weeping, just like describing how cute cats are.
I just want to hug all of them, but I can't because that's crazy. I can't hug every cat.
It was not real, guys. It was a May. She was a comedian.
Wow, The spell has been broken.
I know, I'm sorry to break it to those 10% of you who know what I'm talking about. But I'm like actually like that. Like I really love cats. I was nervous going into this. I figured they were not going to kill this cat. Like I thought that would just be so unforgivable for this movie.
It would have.
For those who watch horror, usually when you see a family pet at the beginning of the movie, you know that pet is toast and it sucks, right? Like it sucks, but the animal is usually the first to go. The cat makes it past like the first act. You kind of know the cat is going to make it. But also, this cat doesn't act like a cat, right? So I watched the, I am a shameless normie. I love Hot Ones, okay? Like, I think it's such a good, like, interview show on YouTube. And they had one with Lupita Nyong'o to promote this movie. And she talks about working with this cat and how when they were on set, they all had to be really quiet all the time. And it was like a nightmare for everyone on set working with this cat. Because guys, guess what? Cats, famously skittish. They're not chill. They're not quiet. They don't find you. Like, they hide.
I did think that was funny.
They hide.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I love my cats. My cats love me. Okay? Like, I'm pretty closely bonded with my cats. I know Tater, she'd be hiding under a bed the whole time. She would not come out. Corn Dog would get attacked immediately and be done because he gets scared and starts meowing. Like, it's how cats are.
Yeah.
Okay? This cat is like, at the beginning of the movie is the only time I clocked it. The beginning of the movie is the only time we hear the cat meow.
I know. Because I was waiting for that to pay off. I was waiting for the cat to meow again later on.
Never does.
Never did.
It doesn't meow for food. There is a scene in this movie where I was laughing, flabbergasted, because of the cat. It's when they're in the subway and they have this cat in a fucking bag.
Yes.
And they are swimming underwater.
Yeah, I know.
And that cat is in that bag. And that's all I could think of. I was not thinking about the alien about to get them. I was not thinking, are they going to run out of breath? This woman is dying. Are they going to be able to get out of here? I was like, there's a cat in that bag. There's a cat in that bag. That cat would be dead.
Well, that whole scene,
Dead
I was
cat.
thinking, you know where that cat is now? 2024 Paris Olympics, swimming, and you know what? Just one silver. Because that cat can swim and hold its breath, I guess, better than anything in the world.
I think if you, again, this is horrible. Don't do this. Don't think of this. But if you have a bag with a cat in it and you submerge it underwater, I don't think that the cat, like in this movie, the cat just sort of, we see it and it's just
Right.
shaking off the water.
Right.
And I was like, come on.
Right. If you've heard of cat in a bag in some water in any other context, it doesn't end the same way.
No.
That's all I'm going to say.
Except the Aristocats.
Except the Aristocats.
Everybody wants to be a cat.
Everybody wants to be a cat.
Everybody.
I mean, in
Let's
this,
cover that movie.
Has too many bad things in it.
Everybody.
we'll have to do one of those like Disney racism disclaimers
Oh, there we
at the
go.
beginning.
I loved that movie.
I love those racism
I
disclaimers.
love a racist disclaimer.
We love some racist cats, y'all. So many songs where cats are being racist.
Yeah.
But not Frodo. So
Not Frodo.
You're right.
to close out,
Unproblematic. Unproblematic, strong
So
swimmer.
far.
I tell you what, Frodo's
he's your
got it all.
unproblematic fave.
Yes.
Yeah, no, this cat, not racist.
Heart of a
not,
champion.
Not scared of aliens.
No.
Not scared of explosions. This cat is
Right.
in explosions, multiple explosions. He's just fine. He sees
He like finds her in the middle of nowhere like 4 different times. Just like they've gotten separated and Frodo's just like, hey girl, just like saunters up to her. And I'm like, yeah, is that what would happen?
the only thing I can think of, and this is not something I thought about before this moment. So this is stupid, but
the
it may
cat
be
has
even
Find
more
My-
stupid.
Okay.
No. So when Eric shoots out of the water, he sees the cat, and it's like an angel,
Yes.
right? It's
That's
like
true.
its framing is like it's an angel cat. Maybe this is an angel cat. It's her
It
guardian
is.
angel. Although, if it's a guardian angel, it's a shithead because it almost gets Eric killed.
That's true.
Because he sees it takes Eric into like the alien food den.
Yeah.
Frodo was proving to be guardian angel. Be like, you can be in the food den, and I'll still keep you safe.
Oh.
Sure.
No, okay.
It was a
I was
it was a
trying.
test.
I really
of,
liked where we were
oh,
going.
it was a test of faith for
Yeah.
Eric.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
I
Yeah.
see. Okay.
Yes. It's all coming together.
I understand now.
Frodo is
Why else would this be happening?
a biblically accurate angel is just a tiny little cat.
That was the most infuriating scene.
Infuriating.
Was him following the cat into Ground Zero.
And again,
I think it was just a construction site.
I am a cat person. I do not think I would have put my life on the line for even my own cats who I love. This is a cat he just met.
And I think the cat
They fell in love.
solo has a better chance
Yes.
of like going and sniffing around and then coming back. And obviously this cat
Correct.
has found its way back a million times.
It's like a bloodhound.
Right. I'm like, I'm sure the cat will be fine. But Eric, I don't trust you to be fine. You should just go back to the church.
He
Don't
hasn't
follow
even
that
taken
cat.
off his soggy tie. Just saying.
I mean, even if he went back to the church and he was like, okay, like I got your medicine. Because so there's a point where she needs fentanyl patches to be somewhat even functional.
Because she's just lying in agony on like a bench in a church
Just
where
like
they're sheltering.
sweating and dying. And she needs the pain medicine. So he goes out to find it for her. On his way back, Frodo's like, hey, I want to see what it's like to almost kill you, Eric. And goes into what I did like about that scene is I liked that when we see it, we think, oh, this is like, I thought of like that movie was like Godzilla 2000, where they like find where all the eggs are for the Godzilla, but like these are not eggs. They're like snackies.
Yeah, they're snacks that they lay.
But it's
Because
really
they're like organic, like eggs or whatever, but they're eating them. They're for food, not for hatching.
and we never see them eat people. I think they just hate noise. I think they're like
Yeah.
you,
Yes,
Brett.
they are.
You don't
no,
eat
I know.
people. But
No, I
you
don't eat.
hate
Yeah, I don't
noise.
eat people, but I hate them.
But you do like to eat the eggs you lay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're high in protein.
Yes. Very important for your gains.
Well, I was just getting kind of annoyed by all of the very obvious references to aliens. Because there were like a million, and I
Yeah.
had just seen the trailer for Alien Romulus where they
right.
just did it all. And I was like, I get it. And like, this is like the queen alien, and like, there's the eggs, and yes, you're subverting it because they're eating the eggs. But it was like very much the same types of things. There were similar shots. There's the one like the shot in Alien 3 where the alien is looming to the side of Sigourney Weaver as she's like freaking out against a wall. They kind of recreated that. And I was like, I get it.
Well, can we
I
go
get
into
it.
why you didn't like this movie? Was that it?
No, I found it kind of just repetitive. It was just a lot of like, near miss and rinse and repeat and still trying to get somewhere. I didn't think that, I wish that they'd given Eric, Joseph Quinn, like some backstory to like, I don't know, I just wanted the screenplay to like tie all the character arcs together and like develop them because it was just like, he's anxious law student and he's alive at the end. Like we just don't really learn anything else.
Well, he's British, and that's why he doesn't
is
know
British.
where anything is.
Yes.
He's not a native to the city, because she's a
Right.
native to the city.
Right, but that's not character stuff. That's just like logistical.
Yeah, his arc is basically he's in a panic attack the whole
Yeah.
And then to show up at the end to give her full final wish,
Yeah.
like maybe she would have made it to the club,
Right.
but like he made that part. That's his purpose.
And then
Yeah.
he performed for
Yes.
her.
I
Which was nice, and I just wish they had like,
Yeah.
I don't know, set that up as like, I don't know how they could have, but just like, oh, I wanted to be a magician, but my parents wanted me to go to law school. Not that you have to even spell that out, but I just felt there was nothing. They were such like blank slate characters to me. Even Lupita Nyong'o, I just think the movie definitely got away with it because she's so talented, and they, criminally ill, the stuff with the dad, she's a published poet. Like, there were enough sort of disparate traits, but I didn't feel it made a full, like, rounded character.
Oh, I disagree.
Yeah, so, yeah.
As
but
we say, that's art, baby.
Yeah, just, and I don't know, I just, like, almost opposite to Samantha, like, I just, like, was not scared or I didn't feel tense like at all, and I was really ready for it to be over by the end.
He was
I was
not
like,
tense at all. I was like, it's
Yeah.
all me. I was almost like, I'm so sorry, Brett.
it was fine, but I was just like, okay, I knew exactly how the movie was going to end, like from the beginning. I was like, I was like, oh, do you think she's going to find a picture of her and her dad on the wall at the pizza place?
Oh.
And then she did, and I was like, yeah, I know. I don't know, it just like, maybe I just like had it too figured out.
Yeah, I think maybe that's it. Is you got bored, so you started planning the movie out and where it would go. Like for me, I guess
Yeah.
I wasn't like that at all. Like I didn't know where this was going. I didn't know what the fuck was happening. I thought at any moment not the cat or her would die. I mean, you kind of know she's probably gonna die or sacrifice by the end, but like I wasn't entirely sure, so I didn't see any of it coming. But I also don't try to do that, like because
I don't normally either, which I think was why.
But I agree with you. Usually,
and I normally do, and I didn't.
Interesting.
But usually you do that in movies when you're not engaged. You know, if you're now just sort of sitting there overthinking the movie, that is the movie's fault, and then you can start thinking about what's happening and what you think is going to happen because you're bored.
Well, this also might be almost like the most powerful like support for Mel the way you are, because I feel like a lot of it was like, oh, I know how this part goes. I saw it in the trailers.
Oh yeah, I didn't see any
just
trailers.
like, you know, the most almost like exciting scene was where they're running through the office building and the aliens are like crashing through the ceiling. I was like, that was in every trailer, and I just like, it's not thrilling anymore because I've seen it a million times.
I didn't see any trailers for this, so
So I thought that scene was cool like the first time I saw the trailer, and by the time I saw it in the movie, I was like, yep, I know.
all I knew was that she was in it and that cat was in it because I saw the Hot Ones interview. That's all I knew. And so, yeah, I enjoyed it. And I actually, like, I don't mind too much if some of the stuff is, like I did think of Alien when they go to the egg thing. But that's not just Alien, right? Like, Alien was the prototype, and now, you know, it's been aped so many times that I thought, oh, this is the eggs, and then they started eating it, and I was like, huh, that's weird. And then I was mad because I was like, why is this guy here?
Yes.
You should leave.
That was my main issue
Eric,
with the scene,
you're an
to be
idiot.
clear, yeah.
You should leave. But I don't know, it didn't take me out of it in that way. Because again, in the Quiet Place movies, it is set up that people act in stupid ways. It is not just this movie.
I can't disagree.
Right? The whole first movie is people being like acting stupid. Because people are stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. As we learned from our ad break, people make noise.
They do. And they should be killed for it.
Yeah.
Well, I think why I liked it so much. Well, I liked it from the beginning. I don't know. I guess I do like to live in a little bit of fear. But when Eric joined, I really enjoyed even though she's resistant to helping him, because she's like, I'm on a mission, like, she does get this little tag along, and they have an emotional connection that they know is just short, but it's meaningful, and it doesn't matter more than getting her to her goal and also getting him safe, like, in a way, and then getting her to end it on her own terms.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think that could have happened without the two of them together, which is, you know, part of the point, part of what's been written. But I really like that there was no, like, maybe there was light romance, but I wasn't really feeling romance with it.
I didn't really see
I
that.
didn't see romance, but I could see people trying to push it, but that's not what mattered. Like, that part really stuck out to me, and I really loved it. So I think that's part of why I like this one so much more. Also because I remember this one more than the first one, and I don't really remember the second one. Yeah. But
Clearly, neither do I.
I don't know.
I thought I didn't until I heard from you guys, and I'm like, oh, I guess I remember it pretty well.
I literally only remember, I think, the baseball scene in the vault, and that's it from that one.
Yeah. I definitely get what you're saying, Sam. I think for me, I really, really loved like the beginning, and I felt that the rest of the movie didn't live up to that, because I loved the whole like hospice scene and the field trip and all the way till like basically till the like aliens show up, and then there was some exciting stuff, but it just felt very samey until the end, which I also thought was nice. I liked him doing the little show and getting her the pizza, and her getting him to safety, and her going out on her own terms when she takes out the headphones and plays the music out loud at the very end.
She
out of decorum.
becomes out of decorum.
But I think that makes sense. So,
but she's ready to accept the consequences, so
Right.
I'm fine with her.
But it seems like you enjoyed the stuff that was more new and not overdone.
Yeah, maybe that's it. And I just like wanted it to connect in a different way. I don't know. It's hard to put into words. It just like the pieces were there, but I felt it ended up as less than the sum of its parts for me.
I don't know. Like, I thought it was great. It was not my favorite movie of the year. It was not, the best movie I've ever seen. But I thought for a movie that's like, this is not someone trying to survive. This is someone trying to get Za.
Yeah.
I respect that. The cat was kind of a stupid addition to it, but now that I'm thinking about this cat as like an angelic, godlike figure, it makes me feel a little bit better about the
Me
cat.
too, actually. I like that.
Okay, so let's just remember that I am weird. Not weird, like, you know who, JD Vance, but, or you can bleep that, but we all know who that weird person is. But I was thinking, like, when those aliens were streaming down, are they in ships? Where are they coming from? Are they just there to wipe out living things so that the real aliens can get there?
That was
And then
my
I'm like,
take.
is this cat to counteract these aliens? So that's where I went, so...
But I don't want the answers to that because
I know.
Like, so last night I was talking with my husband and a friend of mine about this movie because I was like, oh, I'm talking about this tomorrow for the podcast, and I was saying like I kind of know exactly what the next movie is going to be. All right, I'm going to predict it now.
Okay.
I'm predicting it now. I hope I'm wrong.
I hope you're right.
It's going to be called like Quiet Place year 28 years later. Okay. And it's going to take place on an aircraft carrier. And this is like one of the last bastions of humanity. Because we learned in this movie, I guess we learned it in 2 and I forgot.
We did.
They can't swim. I
Right.
like literally forgot. So humanity can survive as long as they are on, I guess, some kind of water, landmass, something that aliens have not gotten on it or have been not yeeted off of that island, I guess is the end of 2, which I have forgotten. But so this is my assumption, is it's going to be like a Snowpiercer type of movie where they're on an aircraft carrier and they have to go refuel. And whenever they have to refuel is when the drama happens. And then, of course, there'll be like drama and backstabbing with people because it's all these years later. Maybe it's even further in the future. But that's my... If I was a Hollywood hack, and I was like, these movies keep making money, we need to make more. What can we do next?
That actually sounds okay to me.
I mean, I'll watch it. But that's my guess, is it's like do it on an aircraft carrier where it's like, almost like I was thinking of, is it Day of the Dead? Where they're in the, the
They're in the bunker.
Yeah, it's like a Day of the Dead scenario, but also Snowpiercer scenario.
Sure.
That's my guess for the next one. But I kind of, and I don't want to learn more about the aliens.
Well, I don't want the movies to tell us, but I think it's fun to speculate. I like
Love
that we
to
can discuss
speculate.
it because my read is that the theory you said where these are like the grunts or just like some random like
They're
freaky
not
beast
smart.
alien, right? These are not the ones who like, I don't see these aliens like building a spaceship and like
Hello,
flying
right.
around. Yeah, these were like sent to,
You think they're like the napalm equivalent?
yes, to
They're
like
just
wipe
doing-
out humans or at least make them easy to, way reduce the population. So for the real alien invasion, or it's just kind of a fluke. And like, these are just like, maybe they are biological weapons, but they may not have even been intended for Earth. They just like crashed
Yeah, I thought they were
here.
just sort of like meteors. Like
Yeah,
maybe they were on
or
a
it could be
planet that
meteors.
exploded and they shot through space.
Right, but I definitely don't think they are the intelligent alien invasion.
Well, that would be a fun sequel if they want to make whatever the hell they're going to call the 4th one, because they've already ruined sort of the naming conventions.
Yeah, a quiet force. Where the
What
4
was
is
that?
the A.
A quadruplace.
Oh.
4 quiet, 4 place.
Yeah, two
2
quiet.
plus 2.
4 quiet, 4 place for you.
2 quiet, A place for you.
We're here, Hollywood.
Yeah.
Come get us.
If
But
I see
yeah.
any of this in the 4th one, I'm suing.
Yes, you will be hearing from our attorneys.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I
Mel's
kind of
cats.
yes, my angelic cats.
Cat lawyers.
It is kind of like I don't know if you guys ever read Dean Koontz books.
A couple.
Yeah, he's like for those of you who don't know, he's like a huge horror writer who writes like beach read type horror, and I was obsessed with his books. I've read so many of them when I was in like middle school and high school. But he definitely is that way about like his dog characters. They're like kind of godlike and like fight
yeah.
evil.
You're right.
Because in real life, he just like loves. I think it's like retrievers, like golden retrievers or like yellow labs. Like he's just that kind of white guy. And then they're like always in his books, and they always like fight the evil. So maybe you're
Like
right.
the real dogs ready to fight are chihuahuas, just to be clear.
That's who you
Always
got
ready.
your money on? The
Yes.
Chihuahuas? Yeah.
I don't think they'd survive the land invasion of the grunts.
Oh, my dog Redacted would absolutely.
You're redacting your dog's name?
God damn it.
My dog Roz.
Rosdacted.
Rosdacted in honor of Frasier. Would die immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Pretty happy.
Yes. Snugglebug, but won't shut the fuck up.
I mean, your dog barked a lot at me.
Yeah,
And I'm
but-
not even an alien.
It's because you were
As
in
far
her
as we
home.
know.
Well, that's true.
Oh, maybe she knew something we didn't.
That's all I'm saying.
But also, like, do we have like the top 3 ways how we wouldn't survive? Because my number one is, Brett probably knows as well, is my first night of sleep, I'd be out. I've snored every day of my life from
Yeah.
birth.
I snore.
I would be out immediately. Maybe just top 1. I think that's really it.
I snore. I sneeze. I fart. I
really be sneezing. I think that, and they're pretty loud.
I
bet
cough.
That would be me.
I make normal noises that people make that
Right.
you can't make and survive in this.
And I do be kind of clumsy sometimes.
Oh,
like I
me
may just
too.
knock
Yeah.
something over and that would be it for me.
I walk into doors.
Yep,
There's no way. Like this is how I feel about like zombie scenarios too. Is I want to be one of the first people to go, and I don't even have the knowledge yet to be scared.
Sure.
Like,
you're not
that's
even
kind
living
of-
in the fear. You don't have the anticipation. You're just gone before it.
I already have a panic disorder, and I don't be living through shit like that. Like if I
Although
was,
Joseph Quinn lives through it, and he's got a.
but he
panic
probably
disorder.
is gonna have a bad time.
I don't think he's going to make it that much longer.
Well, we don't see him on that island with Djimon Hounsou in
True.
part 2, so. Maybe.
No, him and the cat went to a farm upstate, and they're
Oh,
fine.
God.
They're
Well, now I'm like, do I
fine.
need to watch the second movie to see if the cat's there?
It's not gonna be there. I don't think they
That'd
thought
be
through
so
this.
nice.
If there's just
I
like,
want to know if if Frodo's still alive.
it's just like you don't remember it
possible.
that it was on that guy's shoulder, just like a parrot.
what if Frodo's like on the cover? And you're like, oh, good.
That would be great if the next one was just like a Milo and Otis or like a Homeward Bound where it's all just from Frodo's perspective, and they
That
hire.
actually would be great.
Who would you hire to be the voice actor for the narration inside Frodo's head?
Obviously, Elijah Wood.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Well, he's dead. Gilbert Gottfried did die.
AI Gilbert
Friend of pod.
Gottfried.
The first foray into just like an entirely AI character in a movie
Yes, voice acting.
is Gilbert Gottfried doing his voice as okay. I'd
That's
watch
my
it.
vote.
Elijah Wood would be good.
Yeah.
He does famously love horror. We foreshadowing. Okay, well, let's move on. We didn't talk about 9/11, but no one talks about 9/11 enough, so it's fine. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I was like, we really could, and I just don't want.
Well, I just thought it was interesting that there were in addition to some 9/11 imagery and it taking place in New York, that also they made it a point that her pain patch was fentanyl. And I just wondered if they were trying to make some kind of like broader commentary on America and American society. And I don't know if they were, but there were just some certain things that I noticed that made me think that they were trying to be topical.
The fentanyl definitely made my and look.
Yeah, that was the
fentanyl
main one, actually.
Has literally, y'all. Fentanyl has been around.
Yes.
It's existed for a long time.
Right.
These patches are very much a medicine that is needed for people who are in pain.
Yes.
Right.
Maybe that was the point they were making, was just like
This is
it
actually
is
a real
medicine,
drug.
and obviously she is the person who needs it.
Yeah. We're in an election year right now, and it's like very much a talking point for one party,
Yeah.
the Libertarian Party.
The real alien invasion is the brainworms.
Yeah.
Oh, unrelated, but a scene that I really loved. They spend the night in her apartment. He finds out that she's a poet. They have this lovely little like scream session together that they time with the thunderclaps. Really liked that. That was very nice. Them just like sitting and venting their pain and fear and frustration. Very nice. She sneaks out because she wakes up fast because she's still trying to ditch him to get that pizza. She wants that za, bro, and she will stop at nothing.
She sees him as a liability
Yes.
to her mission, and he is.
Correct.
And he is, and she's right to see it. But she stops because she passes like a bookstore, and she finds these books like outside that was their display, and she picks up a book, and it's an Octavia Butler book,
Butler.
famously like black sci-fi author. And she's just like rifling through it, and she smells it.
Yeah.
And I really loved that scene. I thought that was
Yeah.
beautiful. It kind of showed her reconnecting with her, like, yeah, she wasn't writing poetry, but she was still reconnecting with her kind of like this is my career, and maybe like, this is also my lineage as a black female author, and like I love the smell of books, and I'm gonna treasure this because it may be one of my last memories.
I think
And I thought that was beautiful.
And also kind of goes into her character arc of being reminded that there are good things, right?
yes.
Like in the worst scenario that anyone could ever be in, she is actually more joyful and reminded of more positive things than she would have been dying in that horrible, smelly, miserable hospice.
Yes.
She also had freedom. Like,
Yep.
she was not constrained. She got to adventure out without anybody else saying, you can or cannot get on the bus here.
Right.
Or you can or cannot go get pizza. Like, she's free. So she was able to take her time, well, as much as one
Yeah.
can while trying not to die.
And I know that we're kind of going long, but I do want to talk. One more thing that I really liked is the cardigan. Because in the beginning, when you see her in her hospice room and she opens her, so she's in like her like kind of scrubs sort of hospital gown in the beginning. And then it's like, well, we're going to the city, so I need a change. And she has two things in her closet. She has what looks like a funeral dress and this like sweater outfit.
Was it a
This
yellow
sweater.
cardigan?
It's
Is
a
that-
yellow.
yeah.
It's sort of like a mustardy
like-
yellow
yeah.
cardigan,
mustard.
a nice sort of like warm color, and she's wearing it throughout the movie. And then at the end, and again, I wasn't like Brett, where I wasn't thinking really ahead. I was actually really in the movie. She gives the cardigan to Eric, and sort of like, because I guess they have an understanding of what's about to happen, which I didn't. And then it's revealed at the end that it's her father's cardigan. And I started weeping, probably unnerving the very bored 10-year-old who was nearby me.
You were the true horror.
I started weeping because, like, I don't know, like, it's her sort of like letting go and like passing on that joy, passing on the memory of who she is to him, which her dad did for her. I don't know, like,
Yeah.
yes, this movie could have been better, but like I really liked that sort of imagery of like she does not have much left that she cares about. She has the memories of her father, she has the memories of her own life through the poetry books, and she has the memory of Za,
Yeah.
and she is sort of powered by those things.
Yeah, and so yeah, she can't get her pizza because the pizza place has been destroyed
Exploded.
it's been explodinated. But they do go to the club, and they have a sweet little scene where
He gets her different pizza.
he gets her different pizza and like does a little show for her, and it's very sweet. Then she gets him on the ferry, the like rescue evacuation ferry. She's like smashing car windshield so that
She's creating a distraction.
yeah, she's creating a distraction so he can jump in with the cat and swim to the ferry. And he does make it out. He escapes. And then she ends up going, she survives that
Yeah,
scene.
which
and,
was,
Yeah,
I was so shocked she survived that scene.
yeah. And then she goes back to the pizza place. And there's like a little corner of it, like in the front, that isn't destroyed. And she finds a photo of her and her dad on the wall and looks at it. And it was very
And
sweet.
he has the cardigan on, and I wept.
Yeah. I think I liked the movie better as a drama than I did as a horror or suspense.
Yeah.
And I wanted more of those elements developed.
Well, it sounds like that's what you
Because
liked.
I liked basically all of
Yeah.
those scenes, yeah. Because I was also touched by the ending.
But I think it is a drama. I mean, there are like suspenseful monster moments, but even
But a lot of those were so stupid in this one that I was just like,
well,
okay.
the water one was bad.
Yeah, we're
but
swimming through the subway tunnel. And
What I did like about that is when she has to calm him down. Because I think those are the moments in the movie where it shines, is when it's, you know, people comforting people trying to rationalize with other people when you're in panic attack, it's, you know, you're in it.
Yeah.
Right? So it's hard, but I respect your opinion.
I respect yours.
Thank you.
And
respect
yours,
mine.
Samantha. Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't go that far.
Wow.
Ooh,
So I think we know what Brett loathes. I think we know what all of us loathe. I mean, for me, it was just like some of the cat stuff was just a little too goofy, but I was mostly fine with it. I guess if I had to loathe anything, it would maybe be the scene, the one that you were talking about, Brett, the one that's sort of the aliens scene.
yeah.
I did not need that to be in the movie. You could have cut it, and the movie would have been. He could have just gotten the medicine and gone back to her, and I think the movie
It didn't
would have been
change anything.
better for it, for sure. Any other loathes? Speak now or
wasn't-
forever hold your loathe.
Oh, I think I
Forever
can hold
loathe
my
your
loathe.
peace.
I didn't forever loathe my peace. I'm feeling pretty good. Not very loathy.
Right. Yeah, not very gay.
Not gay.
I would also say not gay,
Yeah,
but
zero gay.
definitely I found this one. I was the scaredest during this movie this year. So,
And we're proud of you.
Yeah, we are.
ew.
And you made it through, and you did watch the whole thing.
I did.
You just had your security hands.
I did have my security hands. Ideally, you put each thumb like near your tragus. One of my tragi are pierced. So you put them here to like just cover it a little bit, and you have your
Okay.
eyes, your fingers in front of your eyes just in case.
Right, so you can still see through your fingers.
Because you still want to see what's happening, and then like if something jumps, you can like cover your ears real quick, but then still kind of see. So I'm okay.
I can tell that you are okay, and the more you say that you're okay, the more I believe you.
I'm okay.
All right, well, where can people find us?
We are on Instagram at
Queer and Loathing Pod.
I couldn't remember if we have a the. We don't.
No.
At Queer and Loathing Pod. At Gmail. Nope. Someone else take over.
Queer and Loathing Pod at gmail.com. And then various letterbox.
Yes.
I'm Hater Tot.
666 bitch.
And I'm Samantha, but you know.
Right. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever about you.
I respect you, but I don't respect your letterboxed.
That's fair.
I mean, you sure don't use it, so.
And every week, every time we record, I'm like, maybe today's the day.
And it's never the day.
Maybe today will be.
Yeah.
Nope.
Bye.
Okay.
All right. Until next time,
I'm queer.
I'm loathing.
And I'm Samantha.